Today we'll explain properties of matter, and you'll be able to distinguish between two important properties, extensive and intensive. Extensive properties are the ones that depend on the amount of matter in a sample. Means if you change the amount of the sample, the property itself will change. Let's take an example. If you have a scale has a certain height, and then you cut it, take a part of it, so I remove part of the matter. So what will happen to the height? Yes, the height will decrease. This means that when the height decreases, the property decreases because you remove matter. So the height depends on amount of matter. So height is an extensive property. Let's take another example. Volume. If you have a balloon filled with a certain gas, and by a pump you push more air in or more gas in, so the volume is going to increase. This means that the volume increases when you increase matter. When you add matter, the volume increases. So volume is an extensive property. While if you go now to look for other forms of properties, mass is an extensive property, weight is an extensive property. Then intensive properties is a property which depend on the type of matter but not on the amount. The type of matter, is it liquid, is it gas, is it water, or iron or copper or gold. So the property depends on the type of matter itself. Let's take an example. You have two beakers. We add two different volumes of water, and then you heat water in both of the beakers to raise its temperature. Use a thermometer to measure how much the temperature will rise and at what temperature water starts to boil. You will see that water in both cases boil at 100 degrees Celsius. And this means that boiling point is an intensive property because it doesn't depend on the amount. Boiling is not affected by the amount of matter and is considered as an intensive property. I hope it's clear now for you. Here I have a green liquid in 3 different tubes of different shapes, different sizes. The color doesn't change. So color is an intensive property. It doesn't depend on the size, doesn't depend on the amount or the shape of the container. Color not affected. So it's an intensive property. Other intensive properties involve hardness, density. Of course, you can say melting and boiling.